So I guess the first thing is, we've heard a lot about the criminal side of the investigation and what all went on, and of course the results that we got yesterday. But I don't know much about who David was other than what they tell me in the release, which isn't much.
Right.
So
and all bad.
Yeah. My brother was a sweet and caring guy. He was willing to do anything for his children. He's got 2 children, and he's a very good artist. He does a lot of artwork, and he's funny, and we just miss him.
Jennifer, how about you?
David was a very good father. He does have 2 kids. He's also adopted a kid, well, not legally adopted, but in his heart. My children also. He was very handy. He'd help anybody. I mean, my neighbors loved him, and they miss him. Every time I go outside, they always tell me, I wish he was here. I have some work for him to do. Or
I brought along, I don't know if you've seen the release that they put out yesterday.
No, we haven't seen nothing but what was on the, like on the other news.
The news, yeah. Okay.
There's just a lot of things that don't make any sense that happen in this case. And the chief won't even give us any answers. And then when you call him, he never returns your phone calls. It's like we're not getting any help with this at all. Yeah. It's like they don't even care. They're like, okay, well, we just got another criminal out of the way, but yet you're letting another one walk free. So I just don't agree with any of it, and we plan on going to higher authority to see if we can get the case reopened to get some kind of justice.
What sort of higher authority?
We plan on going to, like, what is it, the Public Bureau or whatever it's called there, to try to get more help. And because we hear a lot about, we knew this was going to happen because we hear everyone talking about how the cops are friends with him, so, he's going to walk anyways, and that's exactly what happened. So how can we not believe the rumors? It's okay for you to go out to kill someone, and you get away with it, and you can walk around, and the community's supposed to be safe that way? I don't think so. And it's all being like, my brother's the worst person in the world, and he's really not. The people who do know him know how he is, and he's not that bad of a person like they make him out to be. He wouldn't hurt nobody. Not like these people. Now, they say that this guy had a right to shoot him, but obviously, why don't you pick up a phone and call 911 if you think something's happening? You don't just go out and shoot someone and then walk free.
You need a perceivable threat to your life in order to use deadly force.
Yeah, and there's no threat because my brother wouldn't try to hurt anybody. I do understand my brother has done wrong, but it's the only way he could support his kids. So if that's what it's got to be, it's got to be, but
it's not like he was breaking into homes that people lived in.
This guy was sitting in the basement waiting for him. So it's like he knew. It's basically, I think it's a setup. Somebody set my brother up, and the guy was sitting there, so that's like premeditated murder right there. And the cops are just letting him walk.
How do you know, or do you know, that the person was sitting there?
The cops told us. They told us that the guy was waiting in the basement. So they knew he was waiting in the basement, so it's premeditated, so why is he not being charged?
Yes, they told us that they could tell us exactly where the person was.
Yeah, that's what they told us when we went to the meeting. They knew exactly where the person was sitting, exactly where my brother was when he got shot. Then they claimed supposedly that my brother got shot in the basement, but there's no blood coming out of the basement into the road. Where you see the blood is in the middle of the road.
That's where it starts.
That's where the blood starts. So if he's bleeding to death, how come there's no trail of blood coming out of the basement into the road? It's all right there on the road. And so we think my brother didn't get shot in the basement like they're claiming he did. We think he got shot outside. In that case, that person had no business shooting him at all.
Right.
And he was shot twice, not once.
Yeah.
There was 2.
Yeah, the cops just say he was shot twice.
But the cops told us
he was shot twice.
That's what Bobby Joe kept saying. Mm-hmm.
You know that he was bleeding.
Yes.
We were told he returned home.
Yeah, and that's this residence here.
He came back here.
Yes.
From just down the road, right?
Right.
And what was it? Chaos?
I was sleeping. My kids were sleeping in this living room, and he came flying in the door and screaming, "Baby, baby, I've been shot." And I jumped up, and by the time I got up, he was already in the bathroom, had his arm under the faucet. And still to this day, my faucet is, my sink is backed up. It's clogged. Don't know what's clogging it or nothing. But, yeah. It was... I don't even remember what I was going to say.
If you can't, that's all right. And then, Jennifer, what do you get from... I mean, you obviously looked over the release as well, and all that they say is that about David himself is that he had committed numerous other burglaries. I mean, do you think that's a sort of accusation? Is that how that makes you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And you would paint that as unfair?
Yeah.
Because they got him going for things that he wouldn't even be able to get to.
In
he
one
had
of
no
the
transportation.
Yeah, in
And
one
nothing.
of the news that we had read, there was things about all different parts of Orleans County. For one, my brother has no transportation. And if my brother was going out of Albion to do stuff, obviously he would have to have someone with him who has a vehicle. So who's the other person?
Accessory to the crime.
Yeah.
But see,
So-
that's the thing. There was no other person. Like, if he... Because in town, like... Further out of town, not out of town, but, like, across town, he would use his bike.
And there's no way my brother could get to another county. If he's going to do stuff out in another county, he would need a vehicle. Obviously, he can't bring all the stuff back here on a bike.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So obviously there's somebody else. Like I said, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. And the cops aren't helping, and what the cops are saying doesn't even go with anything that, you know, they keep changing it. Yeah.
I think they're putting somebody else's burglaries on David.
Just
Yeah.
so they could say it's closed.
So they could say it's closed and try to make the community feel safer, but it's not going to feel safer when in the less than a year we've had 3 murders in Albion.
Right.
And this used to be like the quietest place to live.
And suddenly it looks like crime town.
Yeah.
There's no case, and obviously I'm a young guy, but I was talking to my own boss, and there's no case that they can remember where the grand jury handed down a no bill, and the person who would have been indicted was not named. If you could say something to that person, who is at least the accused shooter.
I don't think there would be any words exchanged.
I think that because we know who it is, because cops told us straight out, all the evidence points to, and I think should be in jail. And
No, if I could say, who is
he's the
where
my brother got shot, or where he supposedly got shot inside of. And I think should go to jail, and he should do the time he's doing. There's a lot of people that were good friends with my brother that if they had their way would be in the same place my brother is right now. So it's like either they do justice or we'll take it to someone who will. That's how I feel about it.
And is it the we won't rest until?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. Because we deserve the closure. We're his family, and his kids deserve to get justice for losing their father, because their children, they're going to grow up their life without their father.